So here we are for part 2 of our series of answering your frequently asked questions about iGold. How can I trust that my coins are authentic? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Sigma Metallics Precious Metal Verifier to test our coins. I have a variety of coins here. I have a 12-ounce Walking Liberty silver bullion. It's the size of a bar, but it's a coin. Very beautiful. We'll test that. We have a 2018. See if we can focus in on the 2018 Canadian Maple with a new security feature that came in, I think, in about 2016. You can see all the beautiful striations on the coin. We're going to test an American Eagle, 2018 American Eagle. 2016 American Eagle. We have a Israel Mint Megiddo coin. It's just a beautiful coin that one of my favorite designs on it. I absolutely love it. It's of Israel Lion. It's the old 5 lirot coin. I'm not too sure what it's made of, to be honest. Then we have a coin which is made of nickel and copper. So this is the type of metal that if you're trying to fake a bullion coin you would use, because its density and also its resistivity is very similar to silver. So as you can see, it's very difficult to tell the difference between an authentic silver coin and a coin made of copper and nickel. But we'll see whether the verifier catches it or not. Here you can see the size between a Philharmonic. The size between a Philharmonic and this coin is very, very similar. You can only see that the thickness is a bit different. So while this weighs 1 ounce, 31.1 grams, the Republic of Palau $1 coin, it weighs 26 grams. That's why it is thinner. And lastly, we have the iconic Walking Liberty American Eagle. This one's from 1992. Let's have a look at that, 1992, beautiful. And then lastly, just to show you how the Precious Metal Verifier works, it actually tests through the security plastic, so it's very non-invasive. Usually if you want to test a coin, you'd have to take it to a jeweler. They would scrape a sample off the coin, put acid on it, but then you're left with a coin with a scratch on it. So this is a very non-invasive product. It's an amazing product, and it only takes a few seconds to test. So let's turn on the verifier. Hopefully you'll be able to see the screen. So first we have to do is just calibrate the product. What it'll do, it'll take a temperature reading and also just calibrate all its sensors. You can see on the left, the light on the right. And now it is ready for action. So if we zoom in, there's 2 sensors on the device. There's the large bullion tester. This is where you put your coins inside the black circle, and there's a small bullion tester where you put smaller products, 1 gram bars and those small fractional reserve coins. And you'll see here, this is the display. Let's try and get in there. This is actually the 2nd generation of the Metallics tester. The original generation only tested, there are 2 tests it does. The top test, it tests the surface resistivity of the product down to, I believe, 1 or 2 millimeters below the surface. The second test is a resistivity all the way through the coin. So if you're testing coins and specifically bars more than 1 ounce, you want to be sure that there's no tungsten or any product or copper in the center of the bar, which could reduce the value of your investment by a large amount. That's generally what counterfeiters would use. So let's start. We would zoom out. First what we do is we choose the metal we're going to test, so you press the metal, and that gives us an option screen. The different options: gold, 22 karat, this is a South African Krugerrand, it uses copper, 90% with the balance of copper. The American Eagle uses silver, it's 22 karat as well. So we're going to go up to gold pure, and we're actually going to test the Canadian maple. Beautiful coin. So what we can see here in the results, you can see how quick the results are, is that this is the resistivity reading. Now you would expect gold to have at room temperature approximately 2.2. So depending on the temperature, we see the green area is where the coin's resistivity should fall within. And then we also look at, this is the surface resistivity, it's from the top and from the bottom. And this is the resistivity taken through the coin, through the center all the way through the coin as a whole. And perhaps because it's quite cold in your lab today, you can see it's right on the edge. But provided that the products are within that tolerance, I would expect the coin, based on the reader, to be pure. Now we also see at the bottom it measures the thickness of the coin, 1.92 millimeters. So if you were to fake gold, the closest density to gold is probably tungsten. So you would expect it to be a tungsten coin. However, tungsten has a resistivity of 5.3. So if there was any tungsten in this product, while it could have the same weight and dimensions, the same weight, thickness, and diameter, you would see this resistivity jump to 5.3. And it would immediately tell us that this coin is fake. But we're sitting at 2.2 and 2.07 all the way through. So we're 99.9% sure that this product is authentic. However, we can still do one more test. We'll measure the coin. So we click on measure. The coin is around. And what this does, it checks the dimension. We already took the reading of the width of the coin. Now you'll put the coin on these two dashed lines, and what it will do is it will check. Let me see if I can get it any closer. A real gold coin of that width, I believe it was 1.9, has to be with the correct diameter. Will have to be within this green area here. If it falls outside of the green area, then you know it's an inferior metal. They've tried to use a much lighter metal in order to fake a gold coin. But you can see the gold sits within the green tolerance zone. So we know that this coin is authentic. Let's try a different coin. We go back to metal. We place the coin on the circle. We choose pure gold. And again, we see that the surface resistivity is 2.23, so we know at least the outside millimeter of the product is pure gold, and the test all the way through, while it is a little bit lower, it's within the tolerance zone. And its thickness is also 1.93, 1.94, which again we can measure. It's around and see that it's the right size. There is a product called a fish gold tester. It's actually a plastic product. And what it does is it also tests, it's just using injection molded plastic to test the dimensions of the coin. And based on the dimensions, it works. It's a lever system which works out whether the coin is authentic or not. A very nice product. Aria has one in Jerusalem. I don't have one here to show you. Perhaps in a future episode I'll do that. So next, let's try the American Eagle. It's 22 karat gold. So it's not pure like the Canadian maple. Let's zoom out a bit. Choose that. I have to calibrate the system again because we're changing metals. Let's see how quickly it tests it. So we're going to place the coin, 1, 2, 3, and it's already tested whether the resistivity of the coin. So we can see that the resistivity, if it's pure gold, it should be 2.2 approximately, and we're sitting at a resistivity of 8.7 and 5.3. That's because there's additional silver and other products and other metals inside the coin, American Eagles, in order to make it a much harder, more durable coin. If you recall, American Eagles used to be circulating currency. So they had to be much harder and durable so that they could last much longer. You wouldn't make a currency out of pure gold. It's just too valuable, and it would be damaged very quickly. So as we can see, the surface also falls in the parameters. The test all the way through the coin, the thickness of an American Eagle is slightly thicker, 2.14, and let's check the dimensions of the coin. And we can see that it ties up very accurately. So we know that this is an authentic coin. Next, let's start to check silver. Silver is a very interesting metal, simply because they have copper is very close resistivity and also density. It's only about 20% less dense than silver. So if there are going to be fakes, copper fakes of silver are much more prevalent. So here you can see the different options we have. We have pure silver, sterling 92.5, and all these other options are for coins, much older coins. This product actually tests other metals, palladium, copper, rhodium, but we're only interested generally in the two precious metals, gold and silver. So we're going to choose pure silver, and we're going to check first the American Eagle. Let's get to focus here. It's a 1992 American Eagle. One of the first American Eagles I bought in Israel. Let's see if we can get let's put the coin under the tester. Now you can see, especially with silver coins, even American Eagles, you can see that the resistivity is within this orange area. There's a green tolerance, which is what usually silver bars produced by a refinery such as Elcambi will fall under. But silver coins seem always to fall at a much higher resistivity, and that's why there's this orange area where it could be copper, because copper's resistivity is about 1.7 instead of 1.6. 1.6 will be around here, which is usually what the refined bars sit under. But minted coins by governments, the quality is not as high as the refineries, and they always creep up, and it could be silver. So this is why it's always important to measure the coin. We can see the thickness of 2.4, just to make sure it's not copper. Because the coin, if made out of copper, would be 20% larger. So here again we can see that the coin falls within the green tolerance zone, so we know that the thickness and the diameters and the dimensions of the coin are accurate for silver. Let's go back and test the next coin. This is the Philharmonic. Again, we can see a Philharmonic seem to have better quality control than the US Mint, and they're sitting at 1.63 and 1.62. Now you can see both of these coins are both 1 ounce. However, the thickness varies. So let's test the thickness, measure the round. So we can see that for that thickness, the silver does in fact, a Philharmonic does in fact fall within the tolerances. And if this American Eagle were as thick as a Philharmonic, you'll see it would have been much too large. You can see it falling outside of the green tolerance zone. So I know that the American Eagle and the Philharmonic are authentic coins. So now we're going to check, I don't have fake coins on me, but let's just check these coins, whether they're pure silver. So as we said, this was the Palau Marine $1 collectible. It's made of copper and tin. Copper and nickel, 26 grams. So as we saw earlier, these two coins are almost the exact same size. You can see they fit perfectly over one another, and their thickness is very accurate. See if we can get that in there. The thickness is fairly close. So let's test and see if the system would be tricked by copper nickel composite. So we tested on pure silver, put it underneath. Now you can see the resistivity is 29 copper whatever resistivity of 1.7, so this is way out. Plus the coin is too thin. If this was an ounce, 2.78 millimeters is way too thin for this coin. So it tells you the surface and also the through test. So this is definitely not silver. If we were to measure it, if it were silver, as you can see, it's the correct size of silver. However, the resistivity gives us the answer on whether it's silver or not, which is why this product, this metallics tester, is amazing. Lastly, my favorite coin from Megiddo. I'm not actually sure what it's made of, but again, you can see the two resistivity values. They are much higher than silver, not even close to copper, so this is probably tin or nickel or some other inferior metal. So let's do something interesting. Let's check this 12 ounce, 1 pound, I believe it's 12 ounces of fine silver. It's the biggest coin, it's very heavy. Let's see if it'll fit underneath the sensor. Just fits under the sensor. And what you will see is that even a coin that is in a protective casing can be tested with this device. It's not invasive. Now, we're actually testing for a 31 gram coin. I could adjust the settings for a 12 pound coin, but I won't because I want to test another American Eagle after this. But as you can see, the resistivity of the coin is in fact pure silver on the surface and all the way through the coin. And lastly, what we have here is a sealed American Eagle, 1986. As you can see, no, 1999. Wow. What's interesting with silver is you can see there's tarnishing. If you leave silver out, it's the sulfur in the air that actually oxidizes with the silver, and it turns out this black color. You can see it's very bad at the back. Actually having a separate one, you can see the tarnishing there. So it's always important to keep your silver in, as best you can, in airtight sealed containers, such as the original mint containers. But let's just quickly do one last check. Let's see whether this coin is silver or not. As you can see, once again, American Eagles sitting under copper's resistivity, but that's simply because of the mint's production, the quality of their quality control is not as high as the private mints. So that concludes how we test for precious metals. One last test, which is just quite interesting, is the magnetic test. So what we'll do is we have an American Eagle. We put a niobium magnet. As you can see, niobium magnet is very powerful. When we place a niobium magnet on silver, silver is diamagnetic, so it will have a reaction. It won't stick to the coin, but as you can see, it slides very slowly down the coin. If you were to use a coin which is non-magnetic, let's try this copper nickel coin. It's not working out here. As you can see, it slides very quickly. There's no reaction to the copper, there's no reaction to the nickel. But when it's silver, it slides very slowly. Because it's diamagnetic, there's an electrical field that's produced. Same for this philharmonic. When you slide it down, you can see it slides very slowly. However, a fake coin, it would slide extremely fast. In fact, it's very hard to hold it. So that concludes our testing, and every coin that's imported by iGold is tested this way. It's a very quick, non-invasive test, and it ensures that your products are authentic.